Well, everyone, welcome to the all-new Toyota Land Cruiser. We are here in the first edition model, and I'm going to take you guys on a quick drive and review of this vehicle. If you haven't checked out the full tour and review, definitely go have a watch at that, because we're just going to mainly focus on driving impressions here. I love this car. I really have had a great week with it in a lot of all aspects. Let's just go take a quick look on the exterior before we go take it on a short drive. We have this really cool kind of two-tone style paint finish on this particular one this week. And it's just been awesome. Since it's a first edition, we have these circular headlights, which I think look really cool. We have this color selectable fog lights as well. Love the design. It's really big and boxy. Definitely looks like a Defender from the front end a little bit, but all these kind of off-road SUVs have a similar style proportion. It's just a really cool looking vehicle. It gets lots of looks on the road as well. Just check out how tall it is as well. We have 8.7 inches of ground clearance on this particular one. We have a roof rack as well, full 360 cameras, parking sensors, some cool mud flaps. But of course, go check all that out in the full tour and review. We're gonna go take this thing on the drive. Keyless access, which is great. Very easy to get in and out, even though it is a little bit higher off the ground. We have lots of fun systems in here, plenty of customizable drive modes. This whole gauge cluster can be changed from 2 gauges to the single gauge to a very simple speed layout, and very different cool styles of gauges in there as well. We have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless charger, great driver center over here for our 8-speed automatic gearbox. Nice shifter in here, solid shifter. Lots of drive modes as well. We have Eco Sport, Normal. We also have our multi-terrain select, crawl control, and downhill assist. You can see it's a hybrid, so it just turned off, of course. We have our center and rear lockers, stabilizer bar disconnect up front, and our low range selector right here. So there is plenty of stuff in this vehicle, as well as Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 heads-up display. It's fully loaded in this car. It's just shy of being a GX at this point, but let's pop it into drive. We have our 360 cameras pop up here. Really cool stuff. You can even color match the vehicle as well. If you go into the settings, you can change the vehicle body color, so you can change it to whatever the colors of this vehicle you can get, which is really cool. You can also quick access that button right over here with the view. We have automatic, so it will come on at any stop, and you can adjust a lot of different parameters on here depending on what view you're in. This is a really cool view where it kind of does this painting of the road in front of you, but this is just one of many views you can get on this camera. Pop the vehicle into low range, for example, and it unlocks a whole different style of view system over here. So we have these side views. This is mainly focused for off-road, and it just goes in depth. I have this really cool animation here that brings you inside the vehicle and then under it. So the second I start rolling along or going in drive, for example, it's going to start painting the road underneath me. This is really helpful in some off-road situations. Let's see if you're going to be running over some rocks, or you just ran over a rock. But some really cool stuff here. You can even have a rear view as well, which does almost the same thing with that road painting design there, which I think is just absolutely epic of a feature. It's one of the best camera systems. I just wish it was a little bit easier accessible, because unfortunately you have to kind of be in drive to use it. Nonetheless, let's head off. I'm going to stop blabbering and let's enjoy the ride of this new Land Cruiser. So I'm going to do a real fun test here. We're in EV mode right now. There's no button for EV mode anywhere, but as long as you keep your foot really gentle on the throttle, it will stick in EV mode. I'm also going to pop it in Eco for fun. A little bit more fuel economy here, but as you can see, we have these really cool gauges up here called Max. So this is going to show our battery status and hybrid powertrain. The second I start giving it more throttle, it's going to kick the engine on very seamlessly. There is no vibrations, harshness, or interruptions to turn the engine on in this vehicle whatsoever. It's incredibly smooth thanks to this hybrid system we have here, and really everything works just so well in this car. Everything's very quick. It feels very high quality. Very solid in here. All the screens work well. Love the physical buttons. So off to a great start off the bat here on this new Land Cruiser, and the ride in this car is just phenomenal on the road. Toyota definitely spent a significant amount of time on stabilizing and really just making this body on frame chassis as quiet as possible. But around town, it's incredibly smooth. We're actually driving in Eco mode right now. It turns off the engine before you even come to a stop in Eco mode. It's really efficient. It's almost like the German 48-volt hybrid systems in terms of its smoothness, even though this is a regular style hybrid system, not that kind of variant here. Steering is really great, precise. I love the steering wheel, it has a nice thin rim. Nice turning indicator sound as well. And when you come to a stop with your automatic cameras turned on, it will pop them up for you. And you're going to notice it's going to see traffic coming. So it's going to give you arrows telling you there's cross traffic coming. So really love that feature. That also appears in your heads-up display. That'll also do for rear cross traffic as well. Definitely a wonderful safety feature on this vehicle. And this front screen here actually has this kind of like coating on it, or the display technology. It's really interesting. So it's designed to reduce glare. And if you're sitting in the passenger seat, for example, you cannot see the screen whatsoever. It is completely blacked out for some reason. I guess how they kind of did the coating on there. Insane. A truly insane amount of safety systems you get on this vehicle. And you know, I mentioned this in the full touring review for you guys. Sometimes that's a good thing, you know, if you're driving around a vehicle that makes so much sense in like a Lexus RX, a Lexus TX, a Toyota Grand Highlander, or RAV4, a lot of family style vehicles. And this is definitely a family vehicle, but if you're a more off-road focused enthusiast purchasing this new Land Cruiser and you want the fully loaded one, you're going to be having all these safety systems that you're going to have to go into these menus and disable. Thankfully, in some certain settings, such as low range and some other off-road modes, it will disable certain systems. But if you really want a kind of hassle-free off-road experience with things beeping at you, with not things beeping at you, you're going to have to start turning off things. And that's where I think a main competitor, the Fender, does a much better job at having a little button on the steering wheel that can turn off everything or set it to medium or low sensitivity, which I think Toyota should look into, just in terms of going into like those off-road style scenarios. Okay, let's go see how the Land Cruiser accelerates out here onto the highway. Let's pop it into one of our drive modes. We have Sport, Normal, and Eco on our main core drive mode settings here. Car is nice and warmed up on this freezing morning. I have to say, acceleration is not the quickest, obviously. It is just a off-roading, comfortable SUV, but it does get up to speed pretty well. It feels very, almost diesel-like in its amount of torque delivery. There's so much torque here with the turbocharged 4-cylinder and this hybrid system combined that you really do get a lot of strong instant torque off the line, which I quite like, especially out here getting onto the highway or just in and around town situations. It's pretty nice and peppy. Out here on the highway, we also have some other wonderful systems such as Toyota's Safety Sense 3.0, and that's going to be combining this driving monitor up here with a whole bunch of all your sensors and cameras and radar to give you adaptive cruise, and in low speed situations with traffic jam assist. It's pretty simple to kick on and activate too. All you really do have to press is your cruise control button, and your adaptive cruise control is on. It says make sure to pay attention to other vehicles. It has pretty good steering and lane keep assist as well, though this is not a hands-free system unless you are in the traffic assistant mode, which is under like 25 miles per hour. That is when it becomes hands-free, so you do have to have your hands on the wheel, but it does work quite well. It does actually have some other fun features like lane change assist. So if you just tap on this blinker a little bit, it's gonna check for a lane, you check your surroundings, and look at that, it's now changing lanes for me in a Land Cruiser. It's pretty cool. Not many vehicles in this class can do things like that. Let's have a little demo here of looking at those screens. Pay attention to see what's happening there. So we're seeing some battery come in, some boost pressure is now kicking on, and as we get higher in the rev range, that battery boost dissipates and the turbo keeps building until it starts falling off a little bit. So it's really cool to see how this battery in the hybrid system almost acts as a sort of torque boost, but also torque fill for the turbo to kind of eliminate turbo lag in a sense. So as you can see now, we are in some traffic, and we actually have our Toyota traffic jam assist on here, so you can get it indicated by that cool little icon there. It does need to see my face in order for this to work though, but the traffic jam assist works perfectly well. This is when you can actually take your hands off the wheel as long as you're staying and looking forward, but always have them ready, as the second you hit around 25 mph miles per hour, you need to take over it once again. You should have that. With this proactive safety assist system we currently have turned on, you can't deactivate it. It actually will come to a, or it'll start bringing you to a stop even ahead of the vehicle in front of you. It's almost like you have adaptive cruise control always on, but it's only on the deceleration part, not keeping your speed maintained at a certain speed, which is really quite nice actually of a system in and around traffic situations. We have hit a little bit of traffic here, so you can see we still have our adaptive cruise control system on. It's doing a great job of keeping our following distances over here, which I think is quite nice. And I did want to point out to you guys that we can indeed change these gauge clusters to a multitude of different layouts, which is great in terms of customizability. It's just a little bit difficult to do so, and you cannot do it while you're driving at all. You have to do it while completely parked, which is a little bit crazy to think about. So you do have to be parked to actually access pretty much most of the settings in this vehicle. And again, yes, that is 100% a safety item, but there's just some things that I think they shouldn't have just shoved in this screen, and they should have put into your infotainment screen in terms of settings wise, because even just the navigation wise, it's a little bit on the difficult side to do so. And I think in terms of simplicity, it would be better to have it in there. One recommendation over there for Toyota, but that's one thing I've noticed over the course of this week while driving the all-new Land Cruiser. I do also want to play an audio test for you guys, because this has the new JBL speaker system, an upgraded speaker system here in this first edition one. So it's actually quite a good system. I was impressed with it. Let's set our volume level to around 40. Okay, not bad. Try 60. Normal audio level around 20. So pretty good audio system, actually. I think the sound is really strong. You have speakers literally all over the place in this vehicle, with this upgraded JBL system on the A-pillars over here, back in the trunk as well, all over the place. And it's a pretty good, it has a little bit of a echoing, I think, distorting effect. I just think because of how big this cabin is, but otherwise it's quite good. There's a little bit of rattling though, I did notice, coming from this area. Some piece of the dash I think might be rattling or something on higher bass levels, but otherwise it's a pretty good system. I really don't have any other big complaints there. It sounds really, really great, which is exactly what you want in a really nice, high-priced, kind of off-road premium SUV. And I'm sure the GX's system sounds even better, I would hope. Otherwise, you know, I really have enjoyed this Land Cruiser over the course of this week. Yes, this first edition is no longer available for the 2025 model year, but you have two options, the 1958 and the Land Cruiser trims. I would personally either go with the Land Cruiser or a very high option to 1958. I know the pricing is a little bit on the higher end of the mid to high 50s and the $60,000 range, but this is a fantastic vehicle. There are lots of fun looks from a lot of people on the roads. This is a pretty bold color combo, and I don't want to give it back. I actually really, really love driving this thing. I love the driving position. It gives you a really great commanding view of the road. It's so comfortable to drive. It's so easy to drive. And I've been kind of liking this hybrid system. Yeah, it's not getting the best fuel economy, but it works. And it's such a smooth powertrain that I just enjoy driving it. So Toyota, you guys knocked it out of the ballpark on this one. I'm really impressed. And I'm now excited to drive the GX, hopefully at some point, to see how big of the differences are between the two SUVs. As always, guys, stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. And as always, see you then. Cheers.